Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. On tonight's Versus, we have Eagle Rare coming in at a 45% ABV, at least 10 years old, versus Old Forester 1924, coming in at a 50% ABV, at least 10 years old. Now, the reason I wanted to put these two up against each other is because this is the newest release coming from Old Forester, and there's some criticisms here, specifically in their price point, and obviously the secondary market's already running with this bottle. Eagle Rare, you know what, I'll be honest, this is the one and only bottle I've ever owned, and I babied the hell out of it because I know I'll never see another one on the shelf, at least in my near future, at a decent enough price. But to be frank, the reason I'm putting these up against each other is A, because of this one's higher dollar asking point, and nowadays this one obviously being overpriced because of the markets, which would you grab? So let's just go and jump into things. We're going to talk about color, notes, taste, wrap it up in the market price section, and hopefully pick a winner. Let's get into it. So as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit, become a member if you like. If you're interested in individual reviews over both of these bottles, along with some other 10-year-old whiskeys, they will be linked up above and down below. But there's some big criticisms here because they are asking a good chunk of money for the 1924. And there's some great 10-year bourbons that we're going to be comparing this one to. I've got a couple other videos, which again, I'll link those as well. But I thought this would be a good one to start with, if anything. Color-wise, they are actually very close. The Eagle Rare is slightly lighter, but actually I might take that back. Boy, they are very, very close in color. All right, let's start on notes of the Eagle Rare. I mean, that's got that Buffalo Trace, caramels, and chariness, the oakiness going on in there as well. A little apple sweetness for me today. Nice layer of spice. No ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes. Just honestly a great bourbon on the nose. Maybe a little sweetness in there too from a sugary sweet. I love the chariness in there, the light oak notes. I mean, this is as classic bourbon as you can get, especially coming from Buffalo Trace. There is a little bit of a corn sweetness in there for me right now, and a little bit of a shellac, almost like a varnish, just lightly on there. But honestly, really great nose. All right, let's go for notes on the 1924. Okay, wow, that's actually a little more, I'm going to say a little more refined. Very similar overall in some of the classics when I say that. Like you get the oak vanilla caramel, yeah, you get that caramel brulee effect going on. But some nice orchard sweetness, almost berries as well. Oiliness. This one's got a lot more oiliness on the nose. This has some of it, but this goes more like wood varnish, where this one goes a little heavier in the oaks and a little bit darker and richer. But I love the berries in there. Almost blackberry, blueberries. A little candy sweetness too. Where here you get more wood sugars, more classic bourbon. Where this is going a little fruitier, a little sweeter on the nose. Both are really solid though. There's actually a lot of similarities, but enough differences that I'm kind of digging the 1924, at least for the nose. Yeah. All right. Let's go for taste on the Eagle Rare. I mean, that's a tried and true sip there too. Beautiful light spice in there. Nice corn going on as well. Little sweet buttery corn notes. Oak, vanilla, caramel. The charry layers from that cask. And then you get this little bit of the ending of a little spice burst with that oakiness in there. That's just a good sip. Still no ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes. Little sweetness in there, but it's more like wood sugar sweetness from that barrel versus any kind of fruit or candy. I like that little bit of spice in there from rye, but very, very good on the taste. Like, honestly, back when this was like $30-$35 in the market, it's hard to argue with it. Even nowadays, I still feel like this is well worth at least up into the 40s range, if not closer to 50s. There's some great characteristics in this bottle. And I don't care if you're mad at me for saying it's worth more than what it is. It's a good bottle. The surprising part is, even though it's 10 years, it does drink a little thin. If I really want to kind of nitpick, just a hair thin. Like, I almost feel like it needs bumped up just a little bit more and bring a little more character to it. But at the end of the day, it's a good sip. All right, let's go for the 1924. Boy, that's a good sip. I mean, I really like the 1924 in my review as well. It's got a beautiful oakiness to it. Very sweet. Again, for me, it comes out with some berries and some orchard fruits. You still get that corn sweetness in there as well. A little pinch of a rye going on. However, the oiliness on the palate has a beautiful cling to it. That 5% ABV comparatively to the Eagle Rare just has a little more body to it. But I still wish the 1924 just still drinks kind of thin if I really want to nitpick as well. Still, that is a gorgeously sweet bourbon that they really knocked out of the park. I mean, going back to Eagle Rare, they are similar in some aspects. The big thing I will say, this has a little more spice to it and a little more classic oakiness when it comes to the oak vanilla caramel combo that a bourbon is known to have. Here, you're getting a little more sweetness from like a sugary sweet, candy sweetness, a little fruit sweetness going on in there too from the berries I'm getting. But the oiliness, this has a lot stronger oily factor to it than the Eagle Rare in my opinion. To be honest, at the end of the day, both are great sips, don't get me wrong. But this just has a little more character to it with a few things that I prefer. I like oakier bourbons. I like that little bit of rich, velvety texture that this is bringing. But I wouldn't say no if you gave me a pour of this. So let's talk about market price, because we all know market price is market price. And boy, howdy doody, it's always going to vary. So it's really going to be hard one to talk about when it comes to the market price section. In a perfect world scenario, this is $120 SRP, and this is like $30, $35. Obviously, at $30, $35, get the Eagle Rare. Please, buy yourself 3 bottles of this versus 1 bottle of the 1924. So let's go ahead and just chuck out the market price section. Let's just base this off of flavors. For me personally, the 1924 I think is going to win it for me. I like its cling a little bit better, and that oaky profile, for me personally, really wins me over. I think it has just a better cling, and again, for me, I like those darker, oakier notes, but I also like that fruit and candy sweetness that this one's bringing for me. This is tried and true, and I love this sip. At the end of the day, if you gave me a pour of it, I'm not going to complain, because it is a damn good bottle. To be honest, I think the 1924 is just going to win it for me just based upon flavor profiles. And again, that's my own personal preference on that. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Eagle Rare versus Old Forester 1924. If you have any questions about either bottle, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any bottles I should put up against each other, also let me know down below. Love doing these A/B comparisons. It helps me learn. It helps you learn as well. So, as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, I even like it might